Alive and Well STL is a presentation of the St. Louis Regional Health Commission and Rare Gem Productions to build a healthier St. Louis. Power up with the positive. Learn more at oneraregem.com. That's ONERAREGEM.com.
Support for Alive and Well STL comes from Beyond Housing, helps entire communities become better places to live. Learn more at beyondhousing.org.
The Regional Health Commission works in partnership with regional health sector advocates and stakeholders to improve healthcare access, reduce health disparities, and improve health outcomes for the uninsured and the underinsured in St. Louis City and County.
Alive and Well STL with Bethany Johnson-Javois, CEO of the St. Louis Integrated Health Network. We conclude this week with a perspective of optimism with our visit to the Demetrious Johnson Charitable Foundation.
So in our community, we lose a lot of people, a lot of young African American men. So nobody knew what to do. You know, you got a lot of people that lose people. They don't know what to say. You know, they don't have anyone to talk to. And I lost my nephew. It's the reason why I was here. And being a man, you know, you try to, you know, you got that macho thing. You know, it is what it is. I'm from the neighborhood. You know, you think you've seen it all. You know, it comes with territory. The fact of the matter is, I don't get used to that. Who gets used to that? Why would you want to get used to that? You have to kind of check yourself and say, man, how can I get used to people dying in my neighborhood? And it reminds me that I do hurt. I am hurting about my nephew, even though I knew of people dying, young men dying.
This is producer Jade Harrell. We'll be right back.
So I don't know. I'm raising two kids. We have two sons. One is 24. One is 18. I've always been afraid, and he was always afraid of gangs or drugs and police. And look at this. Yeah. Look what's happening. All the nightmare, all these things that's happening was in my dreams. That's what we're dealing with right now. So you got these anxieties from just walking the streets to, if I get pulled over by this police, am I going to make it out? Am I just going to get this ticket? Or am I going to make it out of this here?
Alive and Well STL. Inside the weekly grief meetings for families who have lost loved ones to homicide, Bethany sits down with Larry Bastian, a proud man heralding from a dynamic family who also feels the hurt but remains hopeful for this community and the goodness of life and people.
So what is it about your name and who you are that you're proud of? What's the characteristics of a Bastian man?
That's a good question. Well, just from my dad and the way he kind of brought us up, with that kind of pride of being a man, being a man that takes care of his business, that takes care of his family. He, I was fortunate enough to have my dad my whole life in my home, as well as my mother. So, and we had a big family. So he was one of those guys who had to take care of a lot of kids. That was old-fashioned. My mom stayed at home. She took care of the kids, and he went to work. So we kind of old-fashioned in a lot of ways. So, but we try to keep up with a little bit of the times. But we very old-fashioned, my brothers and I. Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about how you ended up here where we are tonight at the Demetrious Johnson Foundation.
So in our community, we lose a lot of people, a lot of young African American men. So nobody knew what to do. You know, you got a lot of people that lose people. They don't know what to say. You know, they don't have anyone to talk to in our community because we don't. You know, we got that taboo about going to see people. So this was kind of a meeting place that people felt comfortable. DJ's Community Center, and sat down, got with some people, and people began to talk. Mostly women. And I lost my nephew. It's the reason why I was here. And being a man, you know, you try to, you know, you got that macho thing. You know, it is what it is. I'm from the neighborhood. You know, you think you've seen it all. You know, it comes with territory. The fact of the matter is, I don't get used to that. Who gets used to that? Why would you want to get used to that? You have to kind of check yourself and say, man, how can I get used to people dying in my neighborhood? Just for instance, I was riding down the street, jogging actually, and I seen the little memorials they put up in our neighborhoods. And it's like, this is crazy. So anyway, going back, listening to their stories, it just hurt me so much that they had to go through this here by themselves. That's what really made me sad. It kept me coming back, and it reminded me that I do hurt. I am hurting about my nephew, even though I knew of people dying, young men dying. Still, it's not the same when you know of that person that you just touched, that you just talked to, and then next thing you know, he's gone. Because that's what happened. You know, I seen him that day. We spoke a little bit, and one of the questions I always ask him is, "Where you going? Where you headed to?" And he had to say, "You know, I ain't going to nowhere." This time he said, I'm headed up the street. And later on that night, that's where he died, up the street. Up the street. Got that call from my mother. He walked out of the house telling her bye. One of the last things she said was, "Be careful." Then she hears shots. And there he is, laid out in the street. So we just walking into the house, because we live right down the street. And I just hear my mother yell, "They just killed DeMarco. They killed DeMarco." And I got out there right behind the police. And to see that, to know that was him, and to see that white cover, out of all the things I've seen in my life, and I've been in a wartime situation there, so I've been in the military. It's just never. It's not the same. It's
an imprint.
It's and so coming here, allowed me the opportunity to try to deal with that, because I felt like I couldn't really deal with it. Out of all the things I thought, I'm strong, I'm tough, but that was hurtful, and I didn't know what to do with it. And I think my wife didn't know what to do with me, trying to know what to do with that. So, because you kind of withdraw, because you don't want your wife. You always want to, you know how we want to be. But
I don't know how you want to be.
We want to be mean. We want to say, hey, I got this. Don't worry, but I can handle it, because you need me to be strong. My mother needs me to be strong.
What's that pressure like?
Pressure. It's a lot, because you don't know what to do, because you feel alone. Because I got brothers, but we all grew up the same. We didn't grow up that love and hug and things. This old fashioned love. It's like that punch you in the chest kind of thing. And they're trying to deal with the way they know how to deal, or trying to deal with it.
I want to ask you a question about that. There's a range of ways. I'm going to make some assumptions and check me on them. Mm-hmm. Women kind of have permission to have more of a range of emotion and expression. You just described, and it sounds to me like men have a certain range: anger, retaliation, violence. And if you reach out for help, the definition of strong and courageous changed. I noticed that. So talk to me about, in your situation, with your experience, with your fabulous last name and your West Indian heritage and your military experience, but your nephew is the one up under that sheet. You had a choice that you could make. You chose this path. Why? Versus the one that seems so knee-jerk response default.
Yeah, that's a good question. Because of the women. Because of the women that group. Because I felt like this. I felt like if I go and I hurt this kid, I do something to this kid.
You thought about it.
I thought, of course. I thought about it, plotted it. You do all of that. But talking to those ladies and hearing their stories, like, how can I put that hurt on another family? Because my family is hurting. I know they're hurting all the way through. And as much as I want to get this guy, I don't want to get that family. I don't want to hurt that family. I don't want to put that family through what I'm going through and what my family's going through. So being with those women calmed me to that point. And of course, I'm a little wiser. I can't do that. If I was younger, I don't know how I would be thinking, but I'm a little wiser these days. You know, I got my wife, you know, I got a lot more to think about. But no, yeah, of course I thought about those things. But quickly, once I heard their story, I'm like, you know, and I don't know if you heard the lady today, she was like, in this room, I don't know if it's someone that knows someone, because you don't. It's everything happens so close. And I don't want to put that kind of pain on nobody. This kind of pain, you know, you say things like you don't want to put it on your worst enemy. I don't believe I ever had enemies that bad that I would even want this kind of feeling that I have on them. And I just, it's painful to even feel, just because I can see it. Every time I talk, I can see the white sheet going over my little nephew. And the relationship that we had, you know, you know, and, you know, we used to get into it. One of the things he told me one time we got into it is I put him out of my car because he talked a lot. He was one of those kids who he'd get on your nerves. And we riding one day, and you know he want to stick his chest out, and you know. I told you, be quiet, I'm going to put you out. He said, you put me out, something happened to me, it's going to hurt you more than it hurt me. He was right.
He's right.
He was right. He's right. And he got out the car, it's going to hurt some, because he felt, he was always afraid to be in the street. And I never could understand why he was so afraid, because he would never tell me.
Yeah.
I found out, because I would always say, talk to me. I tell my sons, you know, talk to me. Tell me what's going on in these streets. Tell me there's something going on with you guys. Because if something happened, you know, it's going to affect the family, you know. But, you know, they won't talk sometimes, you know. So I don't know what was going on in the streets that he was so afraid. Now I'm finding out more about what happened, why things happened. And it wasn't his thing. But that's kind of what happens. Yeah. You know, associates, so-called friends, because he was just totally set up, lured out of my mom's house, and shot in the grass like some, I don't know who would shoot like that, and right there, you know. So it's ugly out here. So I don't know. I'm raising 2 kids. We have 2 sons. One's 24. One is 18. I've always been afraid. And he was always afraid of gangs or drugs and the police. And look at this. Yeah. Look what's happening. All the nightmare, all these things that's happening was in my dreams. You know, and for my mom and my nephew, this was a nightmare for her, because she used to always call me, worried about him. You know, so she's not handling it well. Yeah, she usually would be here, but she's not handling it well. So, because she actually adopted my nephew that got killed. My mom and dad adopted him. Their father had died early. He was 34 years old. He died from cancer, though. But so it's been pretty tough for her. But that's what we're dealing with right now. So you got these anxieties from just walking the streets to, if I get pulled over by this police, am I going to make it out? Am I just going to get this ticket? Or am I going to make it out of this here? So it's a lot. I'm going to
ask you just 2 more things.
Sure.
Grief and hope. Grief and healing. They kind of walk together to me like 2 feet. They're partners. It's not one or the other. I'm going to see if I can take you from the now to the future. There's these 2 words that this show talks about. It's a future state of hope called alive and well. And you've really helped me understand the reality of today. But in your opinion and perspective, based on where you sit today, how do we get from today to Alive and Well. And we got grief and healing.
Ooh.
You think we can get there?
Sure. I think we can do anything we want to do as human beings.
What's it gonna take?
What's it going to take? It's going to take us really realizing that we're going to have to love each other. We ain't got to like each other, but we're going to have to somehow get along with it because everything is going to affect us. What happens in your neighborhood, my neighborhood, it's going to affect everybody. One way or the other, it's going to get to you. So you can't run from it. I don't care how far you go. And I know people trying to get off the earth now. So, but you can't, and you shouldn't want to. This is humanity. You should want to live in a world where everyone is trying to really get along, trying to live and be safe. We all just want to be safe. We want to raise our kids, be able to walk the street, jog, have fun.
Yeah, live to get wrinkles.
There you go. I want to get old.
Yeah. AARP.
Right. All that. I want my discount.
Yeah.
But and I know that could be corny. I don't know, but it seems like it's just that simple. I think sometimes we overthink it. I know it's complicated in some areas, but in a lot of areas, I think it's just as simple as that. It's just us just trying to be more walk in each other's shoes. I mean, I don't understand why we couldn't even want to. Why would we want to just be around just one type of person? Yeah. I want to know everybody. I want to get along with everybody. I want to be able to walk into any circle. I don't want people to be afraid of me either. I get that. People get that fear. Yeah. I'm like, man, why are you afraid of me? I'm the last person. I know you don't know me though, but geez, what can I do about that? Yeah. So I don't know. I think that's what we have to start with is just trying to understand each other better. Trying to just understand each other. Because that's what I want to do. I think it'd be boring if you just sit there and just stayed in your own little circle. I want to understand other people's cultures. Eat other people's food. See how y'all get down. What y'all doing over here? Yeah. That's me. So I think start from that.
Anything else that you want to add? Because you really said everything.
Hopefully, whoever's listening, I hope y'all just feel me and can feel my pain as well as my love, because I got a lot of love for people.
And your love overcame your pain and continues to overcome. So love is stronger than pain?
Love is strong. Yeah, love is stronger than pain. And in the great words of Sade, it's stronger than pride. So we're going to set some of that pride aside. You know what I mean? Then we could do a lot of things. But we use love. We use that love in front of that. We'll be okay. But that's where I come from. That's what my dad and my mom taught me. And my wife continues to teach me that too. A lot of love. A lot of love gets you a lot of places. So I guess it got me here to talk to you guys too.
And it came full circle.
There you go.
From your heritage to your heritage. I want to thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
All right.
You are invited to join the conversation. If you, your family, or your organization is interested in talking about how we better the well-being of the region, sign up for more information, join the conversation, log on to aliveandwellstl.com, and let's build a plan on how we can work together and improve our overall health and become alive and well. The Regional Health Commission, with Chief Executive Officer Robert Friend Jr., committed to providing a detailed review of change over the past decade in 14 leading health indicators for the city and county of St. Louis. The first decade review of health status report, an update to building a healthier St. Louis. Discover the narrative, the data, and celebrate the progress already made to improve healthcare access and reduce health disparities in our region. Learn more at stlrhc.org. Alive and Well STL is another positive production of Rare Gem Productions. Thanks for listening.